Significant news today. Fox News Alert has the effort to prevent Iran from going nuclear now failed. Secretary of State John Kerry heading back to Washington after 2 days of nuclear talks. He says there are still very real gaps in proving Iran's program is peaceful. John Bolton, former U.S. ambassador to the UN and a Fox News contributor. And, sir, good morning to you. Morning. The headlines crossed 90 minutes ago. John Kerry cites very real gaps in nuclear negotiations. Another one, Kerry says he'll consult with President Obama and Congress about possible extension of nuclear talks. Where are we now? And is this case now lost?
Well, it was lost about 20 years ago when Iran started building nuclear weapons. I think it was entirely foreseeable that this 6 months of negotiation after the signing of the deal with Iran in January was going to end without a successful conclusion. The only way Iran would be satisfied would be if the West made catastrophic concessions, which I very much feared Kerry would. But there's a built-in mechanism in the January agreement to extend the talks for another 6 months. I think that's likely to happen. I think that's a plus for Iran, gives them 6 more months to bust out of the sanctions and continue developing their nuclear program.
That's a win-win for Tehran. Here's Benjamin Netanyahu from 36 hours ago. Listen.
It's a joke. Of course they're developing nuclear weapons. They've invested not billions. You can start counting it in maybe in hundreds of billions of dollars. For what? For creating medical isotopes for Iranian patients circling the Earth?
Why did we think we could talk him out of it?
Because I think the president lives in a dream world. I think he believes that that there's a way to negotiate with Iran that will leave them with only a peaceful nuclear power and research program. That was never in the cards. Iran has been determined for 30 years to get nuclear weapons, and a bunch of smooth-talking politicians from the United States were not going to divert them. We've been on a fool's errand for 5 years.
Ed Henry asked Josh Earnest about that. Watch here.
My question is, how does the White House react to the notion that the president is a bystander to all these crises?
I think that there have been a number of situations in which you've seen this administration intervene in a meaningful way that has substantially furthered American interests and substantially improved the tranquility of the global community.
Just listen to that last phrase there. Substantially furthered American interests and substantially improved the tranquility of the global community. What does that mean when you see all these countries falling apart and at war with one another, and another hotspot kicks up every week, it appears?
Well, I actually like the phrase global community, which is presumably to distinguish it from the interplanetary community. I mean, what are these people talking about? The Middle East is descending into chaos. The threat of international terrorism is growing. The Iranian, North Korean nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs are proceeding apace. Russia is using military force on the continent of Europe to change international boundaries, and China is coming close to doing that in the East and South China Sea. The president's not paying attention, and when he is, it's in these fruitless diplomatic efforts. I think we're in a very, very difficult and dangerous time, and it would be nice if we had some leadership in the White House.
One last thing here. In a word, do you think Iran is nuclear now, or are they that much closer to being there?
I don't think they are yet, but I don't think we can have real faith in our intelligence gathering capabilities to know what moment they will cross the finish line, and that is critical.
John Bolton, thank you, sir. We'll see what John Kerry has to say once he's back at the White House here in Washington, or there in Washington. Thank you for your time.